In this video, I'm going to teach you how to perform the modified one leg stretch level 1 from the clinical modified Pilates templates. It's an exercise which is performed from the rest position, so you need your mat or somewhere comfortable to lie. And it's a very simple exercise. Again, this is one of the very beginner exercises or introduction to Pilates exercises. If you're recovering from injury or getting back on your feet after pregnancy, this is kind of where you want to start to introduce this concept of lumbo-pelvic neutral being maintained while you perform these simple mat work exercises. So if you make your way down onto the floor, lying on your back with your knees bent and feet flat in the rest position, I'll start the tutorial for the level 1 of the modified one leg stretch. So we're down on the floor in our Pilates rest position. If you've not been shown the particulars of that position, just have a look at the tutorial video I've done on the key elements underpinning that. Legs are parallel, pelvis is neutral, and therefore your low back should be in that optimal position. And your shoulders should be relaxed and your arms resting on the floor. Now, one thing which you do need to make sure of before we begin this exercise is that the surface you're lying on, be it a mat or floor, allows your foot to slide nice and freely so there's no friction, which causes you to have to judder and lift that foot. So just make sure you have that in the back of your mind before you start. Now, this exercise attempts to challenge the longitudinal stability of our pelvic girdle. So from your start position, take a breath in and breathe out to engage those deep abdominal muscles. Take a breath in to prepare your movement, and then as you breathe out, slide one leg down the mat, and then breathe in to bring it back. Once you've performed that movement, exhale to alternate onto the other leg, and then inhale to come back. So there's the one leg stretch, modified level 1. There are lots of things you need to be aware of here, otherwise it becomes a little bit of a waste of time. So what I tend to recommend, if you're not familiar with this, is to place your hands over the front of your pelvis. Now, those bony lumps underneath the front of your pelvis, the ASIS, we don't want that moving at any point during our movement. So just going through that again, as you exhale and slide away, if you're quite tight in your leg muscles or quite weak in your abdominal muscles stabilizing, what will tend to happen is the pelvis will get pulled forwards. Now, as that happens and that front edge of the pelvis gets pulled down the floor, the back arches as well. So when that pelvis anteriorly tilts, rotates to the front, it must be accompanied with extension of your lumbar spine, which means that the tightness in the leg or the weight of the leg has overcome the muscles which keep that ASIS located in place, and therefore you're not maintaining lumbar-pelvic neutral. So that really nice technique of having the hands laying over the front to feel what's going on, you should be able to feel the moment that pelvis rolls underneath those fingers. You should be able to then feel what's going on in the low back. Only slide your legs as far as you can without that point moving. And then you get that notion of stretch. Now, it is a simple exercise, so it's not going to be a huge pull. You may also find that one side is much better at doing this than the other. Now, once you establish that nice element of dissociation of movement where your pelvis and low back are remaining still, then you start getting to grips with the fundamentals of this movement. Things to watch out for. As you retract the leg from that straightened position, that's when you suddenly can lose control. So if you don't have a super slidey surface, that's where something like a ball can come in really helpful, or even a rolling pin or a little foam roller or something. If that's placed underneath your foot to start with, then it gives you a really nice smooth transition throughout the one leg stretch movement. And you can just simply do multiple repetitions on one side. But remember, it's not how far or how straight that gesture leg goes, it's about how well you can keep everything else remaining still with those core muscles ticking away in the background. Once you can perform this exercise comfortably for 30 to 60 seconds, you can move on to other levels, or alternatively, you can combine it with other exercises like the scissors level 1, which I'll cover in another video.